Something that has comforted me and I found to be fact as I grow in the Lord is the fact that nothing surprises God. When the Bible says that God knows everything, it is fact. You just need to believe it. He really knows everything. He knows the end from the beginning. And so when things happen to me, I'm learning every day to remind myself of the fact that, okay, God, so you knew this was going to happen. So I know I'm fine. And it's the toughest thing to do. It is really a test of faith in the midst of negative things happening, in the midst of you losing that job, in the midst of you having no money to eat, having no money to pay your rent, to pay school fees, in the midst of you falling sick or losing a lost one. The ability to say to yourself over and over again that even this, God knew was going to happen. And He has prepared me for this. And He has a plan. He has made a way out for me. And He allowed this to happen because it's going to save lives. It might be my life it's going to save, or it's going to save the lives of others. And then as you learn to put this in practice, you begin to understand more and more the way God thinks and the way God operates. And it is actually true. Anything that happens to you, good, bad, in the mind of God, it's all about saving a life. So even when we go back to the Bible, when Stephen, who was the first martyr in the Bible, when he was stoned to death, we all thought that was the end of Christianity, because Christianity was doing very well before Stephen was stoned in Acts. But if Stephen wasn't stoned, the Christians wouldn't have run out of the town and dispersed Christianity far and wide, so there wouldn't have been any growth. So in God allowing that to happen, the stoning of Stephen, He allowed more lives to be saved. And so you may be going through something and you're wondering, why is this happening to me? Why am I going through this? Why is my promise delayed? Why haven't I gotten this thing I've been praying for? Remind yourself of the fact that God is allowing the delay. God allowed you to suffer lack because by the time the provision comes, your story will be greater. That ears would ring when they hear it. And more people will come to embrace God through your story. By and large, this is really what it's all about with us. And so you would learn as you experience more. And the good thing about God is that He starts with you little by little, and you begin to understand more and more. And as you understand more and experience the way His greatness comes in your life, your faith begins to grow. And so when the bigger tests come, you really will be able to stand and find peace in whatever situation and say, even in this, God is going to show Himself, because He always has a way out. The way out is not always our fix-it way. If you're a Mr. Fix-it, like me, anytime there's a problem, automatically I'm in fix-it mode, looking for a solution. I've learned that my solution is not always the way out, because my solution sometimes will hurt people, will break relationships, will bring pain to others. It might not be wrong, it might not be illegal, it might not hurt me, it might be good for me. But most times when you see your fix-it solutions, you might hurt other lives. But when God gives you that solution, when you learn to wait on God for that solution, for the way out God only has created, and most times when you are looking for that way out God has created, you always start with, what is in my hands? Because it's either He has given us everything we need for that problem. So I always ask myself, what do I have? What is in my hands, to solve this problem? Do I have the solution in my hands already? And I explore and pray, in an atmosphere of peace in finding that way out prayerfully. And if I know that there isn't anything in my hands to solve this problem, then I've learned to wait that, all right, God, you're about to unfold in a very big way for me right now. And I'm just going to wait in peace. And with that, when the way out comes, especially in times when you don't have the solution in your hands. It's always a big boom that when you wait patiently and it comes, it takes you a few years to conceive and have that child after marriage. By the time you testify, ears will ring and many will glorify God for your story. So whatever it is you're going through, whatever you're waiting for, that pain in your heart that is just there and doesn't seem to have gone. This is the end of February. I'm wondering, God, where are you? I pray with you today that by the grace of God, you find peace to be able to wait on God. So he connects you with the way out he has created for you, because God knew you would be in this position and he loves you so greatly to want to get you out of there. He has a way out for you. So find peace in him, in his word and promise for this need you have. And when the way out comes, testify, so we can all clap our hands and glorify God because of you.